Hey guys, Scott Perry Johnson, author of The Abandoned Poet, coming at you. Today's is just a cruisy video. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to be multitasking a little. Speaking of which, I hope you guys liked my mother's deviled eggs recipe. Well, this video is called Escort. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going in a new direction with my life. I used to be a male-for-male escort under the table years ago. In Darwin, they can't touch me here. This time I'm going to do it legit. Yeah. A lot of people don't realise this, but when I was writing the book, The Abandoned Poet, and by the way, Gina Walters, who published in Port Adelaide, she's my age and she did this. Somebody held a gun to my head and said, draw, something good. Do you know how it would end? Bang. I wonder why I keep changing shirts and costumes and all that. It's because, frankly, people's minds wander, and nobody likes to hear somebody ramble on about something for a while. It keeps the attention, it keeps things, well, interesting. And sometimes a little funny. You gotta have a bit of humour. But always keep in mind, the more miserable you are, the funnier you are. Why do you think a lot of comedians suck so much? That's not fair. They actually do a very good job. Misery actually does bring humour. But this is actually leading me somewhere. What I'm saying right now. Well, when I was 22, I quit escort work. And, that's actually how I met my unofficial foster father, who took me in. I called him back, pacing at a motel, which I didn't get paid 1 red cent to work at, even though I worked there for a week. He was just saying, do it this way, do it this way. I'm like, what are you wanting me to do? Well, I was still working at the motel, he didn't mind, in between, as an escort. And a lot of people don't know this, but for the past 9 years, because of the actions of my unofficial foster father, I've basically lived as a prisoner. In between writing my book, the kidnappings, all of that, which still have not been brought to justice. But I may have been on hard times when I was 22. Those 10 years ago, 10 years ago. But at least I could smile, at least I was nice to people. I didn't ring up phone calls and yell at people. I didn't. But it was only my unofficial foster father. Because I've been stranded for years in between all my work. When I was an escort, it was like freedom. I would go into hotels, feeling like a secret agent. It was kind of fun, it was kind of cool. I was actually happy for a while. I mean, I may not have been up on my luck, but at least I was nicer. A much nicer person. You could actually argue the case that I've been exposed to so much harm, kidnappings, and even corruption I intend to fight against to have my record cleared. But I've been kept as a prisoner for 9 whole years. You could argue that fact. But when I was doing escort work, I felt special. I felt free. I could go wherever I wanted, do whatever I wanted, afford the things that people were depriving me of back then. I didn't have to answer to anyone. Now, a few tips when it comes to escort work, regardless of your sexuality and regardless of your gender. Number 1, cash up front always. No exceptions. Not even if they're a friend. Number 2, discretion is the most important thing. If you tweak, you can't get weak. Plain and simple. Tip number 3. For anyone out there who actually wants to get into the business. I had some people, some guys that were just, like, so attractive. I was just like, why are you paying? And, well, I got some really good advice once years ago. And that advice was, well, it's not so much that we're paying for the sex, it's we're paying for the discretion. Now, I find the adult services to be very professional and very honourable. Oops, I forget to put clothes on again. My bad. Then I was in a public pool. Need to make a federal case out of that. Oops. Anyway, I miss my days of freedom. I mean, as I said before, you could argue that I've been a prisoner for 9 years. This way I get to do what I want, go where I go, feel special, work with some awesome people, some awesome taxi drivers. You know, when I was younger, and I guess to some extent we all do, I was stupid, I was foolish. I didn't see taxi drivers as the real awesome people they are. I made some stupid comments here and there. But as I grew older, I started to realise that no matter what service you're in, you're still a person, you're still a human being. And that goes for escorts, that goes for porn stars, that goes for everyone. At the end of the day, no matter how menial your job is or how high up you are, I'm talking to you, Wall Street in the USA. New York. New York. Everyone's a person, no matter what job they do. Me, I am choosing to resume my career as a male-female escort. And I've always believed that hospitality does play a huge part in, the adult services. A lot of people just are there for one thing. I like to do the whole box and dice thing. I had this date who was, he had to rush off, but I went to a lot of preparation, chilled wine, cooking, things like that. And it was a very short visit. We had a few words about that, but there's no hard feelings there. He was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay. I'm a people pleaser. I guess that's why I'm getting back into this game. Because, well, frankly, I like to make people happy and I don't mind sex too much. I really don't. And people would pay through the nose. I really hate that expression. Who came up with that? Who came up with that horrible expression, pay through the nose? I want to see my lawyer. I'm sorry. All bad jokes aside, people would pay through the nose to sleep with an accomplished, author and performer. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm getting tired of these costume changes right now. I think I've got your attention. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I have felt like a prisoner for about 9 years. I was happy, I was free, and I got to feel special sometimes. I mean, there was this one guy, actually let's do another costume change. And this was when I was like 18. He was like, yes! 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 Oh my god, yes, thank you so much! Thank you so much, yes! 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 Okay. Settle down, buddy. Sometimes you can feel a little shy and awkward with a lot of clients. But always remember, you can pick and choose. I mean, there are some poor souls who had no choice but to sleep with anyone. And that's tough. I'm in a position where I can pick and choose now. I do miss that life. I miss getting a call at 3 in the morning and waking up on a yacht in a hot tub in Darwin Harbour. Yeah, some people actually have hot tubs on their yachts. You know, I miss the occasional present. I miss being spoiled a little. But for the past 9 years or so, I've just basically been a prisoner. Writing from home, releasing my book. And I've done very few live singing performances lately, and that annoys the hell out of me. I want to get back into that too. I spent my entire childhood and most of my teenhood doing that. And, well, basically I'm fed up. I'm tired of being victimised by police, I'm tired of being victimised by neighbours, and I'm tired of being robbed and emotionally abused by my unofficial foster father. I want to become a little more independent, get more out there, and be treated like the celebrity I fought, struggled, and strived to eventually become. I mean, I'm not saying I look down on people, I'm just saying I got there. My mother told me to go out there and make my dreams come true. I did that. And even some woman on crisis line said she was jealous of me. Isn't that just sad? I was kidnapped. I need someone to talk to. Again, those kidnappings have not even been taken seriously. Male crimes don't seem to matter, do they? No, we're just homos. We're going to burn in hell, right? Well, I made a career out of being a homo. Okay? Okay? Yeah. It's about time the LGBT community stopped letting ugly-ass morons walk all over them. Have you ever met an attractive heterosexual male? I can't ever say I have. But now we're getting a little bit too personal. There are some out there. And you know what? Those heterosexual males who actually look good are the ones who aren't homophobic. It's true. It's true, they have no insecurities. They're probably used to being hit on. But me, I'm very respectful. I wouldn't hit on anyone. I don't think I ever have actually hit on anyone. I always just wait for someone to come to me. I have a big fear of rejection. Massive fear, actually. I think it involved a few experiences, but they came crawling back and I was just like, no. People's feelings matter. I feel like it's time for another costume change, don't you? Forget it. Just remove the jacket, that's all. Well, anyway. I think going back into escort work is my new ticket to freedom. I've got everything lined up in life now. Everything's fine. Everything's going okay. And I win every battle that comes my way, including the courts. Ah, yes. The courts. I think I'm going to have a reunion with the Springwood Police Station. They seem to call me by name now. Maybe I'll bring a 6-pack of beer. Or deviled eggs. But yes, escort work would definitely give me something to do. Thanks guys, as usual, you've been absolutely awesome. I can't wait to hear from your comments. Suggestions are welcome. You know, where I could go, companies I could... Well, I actually like to be a freelancer. I actually like to do this on my own. I like to be my own boss. But if you do have any suggestions, feel free to hit me up on my Facebook. Since I'm posting this video on my Facebook, I need to say I'm not advertising in any way. I'm just letting my friends, family and fans know that I'm getting back into the adult services industry. And this video is not made for kids. So, yeah. It's just one profession. It's like driving a taxi, working behind a counter, singing on stage, doing a book signing. And by the way, if you ever saw me draw... Yikes. Yeah. That's how bad I am. My brother can draw, I can't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. This is the Abandoned Poet. Signing up.